So the machine is plugged off and we were trying to see the inside, like how this air flow system is working in here. Everything looks fine. There's no electrical connection that seems to be broken. All the lights turn on this panel. When we turn them on one by one, they all turn on. These lights turn off when we put the water in. Everything seems to be fine, but there was no pressure in this gauge, which is the gauge from here outside, right? So I disconnected it and connected it inside. The main air supply goes to this one, which is the regulator, which is this thing. And we thought that this is not working. I also thought maybe this gauge is faulty. So here I'm going to show you. Now you can see that there's a pressure on the gauge, which is because even though it's plugged out, it's plugged in with the air supply here, compressed air, and there is some pressure here we have. So, and here I have tried to do something like I disconnected the gauge right here, as you can see, and this gauge was coming all the way from there, from here, and this gauge is now disconnected, and I've connected this gauge to this pipe directly, just to see that if this gauge and that valve are both working. Now if I don't touch that valve and I increase the pressure from the back, as you will notice that the pressure here will start increasing. It may not now because I've set it on here. So that's what I wanted to show you. The gauge is working just fine. I've increased the pressure from outside a little bit, and I'm going to increase the pressure from this. I'm increasing it. As you can see, it's increasing there as well. So that means both the gauge and this valve is working just fine. There's nothing wrong with the gauge or valve. And we're also getting this much of pressure to that pipe, which is going directly into that. The weird thing is, I'm going to first of all release the little bit of pressure because I'm worried about the pipe quality is not that much, so I will brought it back down to 1. I will also release a little bit of pressure here so that what I was showing you, I'll show you another thing, that now the pressure is almost 0 there. I'm going to disconnect this gauge right over here, and now because we have no pressure from the main from here, I'm going to increase the pressure. And you can see that now the air is coming out from here. And it's a good amount of pressure. I just showed you when I connected this gauge, we were reaching 2 or more than 2. But as soon as we plug it here, there, it's not coming out from this. I've also disconnected this. This is the spray hose. This hose I've disconnected just to check if there's any clogging or anything. This was connected with the spray hose, this right here, and this goes inside here, which I also disconnected for a while just to wanted to see that, because we're checking everything. This hose goes here, right? So I don't know why when we connect this with this, so the problem could be this, but you won't believe it, we have actually also tried to switch this, the whole part, with the smaller chamber. You won't believe it, but we spent a lot of time with this chamber. I opened up this panel and everything, and we switched it, literally we switched that part, because we thought the problem could be that. And that chamber is still working very fine. You won't believe it, but we spent a lot of time with this chamber. I opened up this panel and everything, and we switched it, literally. We switched that part because we thought the problem could be that. And that chamber is still working very fine. With that thing we changed. We only changed the bottom part, not this top part. I can also open up quickly to show you. So this top part we did not change. This can come off nicely, easy like this, right? I'm talking about the bottom part here, that one. We unscrewed it and changed it with the smaller chamber. Smaller chamber is now working fine, just like before, but this one is still not working. So we also thought that this part here, the top part, could be faulty. We also switched this top part with the left one here for the defogger, and then the air was flowing because we switched all of the pipes and everything, and the top part as well, and the air started to come off. Because I'll show you why. Because until here we get really nice air, and from here we also getting the air, but something is very, very off. We are not able to understand now at this stage. We have tried everything possible. No idea why this is acting like that. Okay, let me check one more thing, that I've placed it correctly or not, because there is another brass piece that I think it's nice and snugly there. This piece sometime comes off, so this is nicely attached, so that's not an issue as well, I'm pretty sure. Now we have no idea that why it is happening and why it's not turned on yet. Electricity is not there, but maybe you guys have programmed it like when you turn on the electricity, only then the air flows. You have programmed it that way. I can understand that, but we have tried that. I've just shown you with the electricity. I can show you right now again. So this is it, right? So this has a little bit of pressure here, and I can show you once again. Pressure is coming in this pipe, which means that all over the main supply coming to this one, right? The defogger works very fine. Which means the air coming from this hose, this one, very fine, and it's also going forward here. There. And now when we will turn it on, the air should come here, right, when we hit the spray button. And because right now it's disconnected, so it should make some noise or whatever. That is what is not happening. Now I just showed you this gauge is working fine. I disconnected it from here. I can put it back. I mean, doesn't make any difference, but because there is no air, that's what I just showed you. Why does it make any difference? Because there is no air going forward on that, from that this one. There's no air going forward into either into this pipe or this is the gauge pipe. So obviously something is off. I personally feel like you guys have programmed it wrong. There's some programming issue. Maybe you programmed it based on 110 liter capacity, and something is like, because maybe we need more water in this chamber. This is the pressure barrel, which is a little bit warm now. So maybe you programmed it incorrectly. We also try to put more water in it and also drain it from the bottom. There's a switch here. As you can see, this sign. This is the water that was dripping, and then we collected the water in a container, and then we refilled it from here. But there's no use anything. We also tried to add more water into this chamber. We thought maybe this thing needs to be filled more fully dipped, or I don't know, this pipe needs to be filled, but maybe more pressure is required. We tried everything possible. So now I can show you again, now everything is back to normal, and let's put this thing back here. And there's a little bit of pressure here now. Just go on so I can maybe put the pressure. And we have tried like pressure all the way to 2 as well, a little bit higher than 2 as well. Nothing really works. It's possible that this machine is reading back here. And there's a little bit of pressure here now. Just go on so I can maybe put the pressure. And we have tried like pressure all the way to 2 as well, a little bit higher than 2 as well. Nothing really works. It's possible that this machine is really not uh, 20 ampere or 18 ampere. It does require more electricity. I don't know, but I'm only like checking the, like you can see there's 45, the temperature in the pressure barrel is pretty good. Here is fine. We just turn this down as well, so, and then pressure, nothing happens. Let's get the light turned on. This is showing nothing because there's no air flowing, as I showed you when it was not even on. Now even with the light flowing through it, electricity, if there's any programming, then it should now be spraying or like showing pressure here. It's a good amount of like resistance. I can feel like I'm putting a lot of like pressure here, I can tell. So at the back we still have some pressure. And the thing I wanted to show you, that defog option is working very nice. When you turn it on, it turns off the spray, which is programmed correctly. And I can show you here, when we turn the defog button, there is a lot of air coming through that hole, which is causing the defogging, because the air goes inside maybe and cause the defogging. So I have no idea, and I think we might need a replacement, or just send us a smaller machine just like that. That worked really fine. We don't really need a bigger one. We needed a bigger one, but I think you guys need to reprogram your bigger machines. They are not working correctly. And I've also waited to make this value 47, to make this value 35, nothing happens. If you guys programmed it like, you know, if it will only spray when the pressure barrel temperature will be 47 or this will be 35, then only it will spray. Nothing happens. We have tried every single thing. I've also tried with the timer on. I put the timer, nothing really happened with the timer as well. So yeah, I put like a 5-minute timer there, and it does work. It goes to like almost like 5 minutes. Nothing happens with any of the options. The defog option is working. That means that the air like I showed you inside. Obviously now I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Something is weird with the second switch inside that I showed you. Let me just turn it off, and for the last time I can show you. And what I was trying to say here, is that the that one that I told you that we thought that it's faulty, so the electrician came, and we also have to pay him now because his visit was a bit longer than expected, and we switched this part. Even then nothing really happened, and I can switch it back, I can connect these back again, but there's no point, I mean, until it's not fixed. So something is wrong here. The air goes into this, and as soon as it goes inside, it does not flow out from here. I don't know, maybe we need more pressure, we need less pressure, what's happening, it's programmed incorrectly. Yeah, it is weird, but everything looks otherwise pretty nice. And yeah, when this machine came, all of these screws were off, they were not there, and they were falling down when I unpacked this machine. So I collected these. I only found 3. They were, I think they came off during the shipping, and these screws were also loose. Just saying, that machine came really nice, smooth, but we bought it from a different seller. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I can do. Like, I don't know what to do with this, so we might have to get a replacement. And I can show you, actually I can show you quickly that this machine works very, very nice. Just for you, I'm doing this so that you guys can maybe reach out to the same seller and get your machine sorted out. Whoever assembled this machine, if it's the same person, because there's also like the even the spelling mistake is the same. Chamber is not chamber, it's like with the P in the end. So they're pretty much the same. And but yeah, I'm gonna like plug it, and so yeah, so as you can see that I showed you that the air was coming from the hose. I connected the hose back again, pushing the spray button. The pressure goes to 1, nice and smooth, and you can see that there is fumes coming out. So that's how it should be working, right? And that's how we need that machine to work. If not, we need a replacement, or send us the smaller machine, please, as soon as possible. We have wasted a lot of time on this. Thank you.